Springer's in the air, la 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 la. Hi everyone, this is Triple T, and today I'm taking a look at X-Transbots Master Series 86MX-X Aerial Defense Virtus, or Springer as I like to call him. First off, let's look at the packaging, and it is quite the big package here, so you have a quote: "When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this. You haven't." And here you have some nice artwork of their Springer and Cup. I love Cup. And I think that's a Combaticon. Sorry, Stunticon. And so on. And a little tech spec. I love me some tech specs. And bio if you want to read it. He comes with a little nice collector's card. Same illustration as on the box and on the manual. Nice face, bio, and stats, of course. And he comes with a manual that is making me have nightmares for years to come. I know he's supposed to come with a stand, but I can't for the life of me find where I have put it. So, unfortunately, I can't show this off. And just a fun side note, here they display that you should be able to put this little sword between the wheels and so on. But if you look here, this weapon accessory cannot be assembled at the bottom of the vehicle. No. So, yeah. And you have that same nice illustration as you had on the box. He comes with a lot of accessories. First off, he comes with 2 blast effects. Hard plastic. This one's a little bent. He comes with that thing, that bomb or missile or whatever you would call it, he held in the movie. He comes with his sword, of course, which goes on his helicopter mode like this. And this is the one that can't be stored underneath. He comes with his blasters here. Fairly nicely done. Green, dark foresty green, and bone white. And this is just made in, I think that is gunmetal grey. Yeah, shiny and nice. He comes with the little human he turns into in that one episode where him, RC, Rodimus, and one more, I can't remember which, actually turns into humans. And he is really nicely detailed. You can actually see his pupils. Yeah. He comes with an alternate head. I think this is IDW version of Springer, a very nicely done head. I'm not into this look, so I'm going to put this in a baggie. And he comes with a lot of different faces that you can swap out if you want him looking differently. This is more of a youth version, I think, and this is more, well, look at me, I'm old and wise. And you have 5 of these. You also have a very wide face. And you have a smirking youth face and a very, very old face, I think. This is the mature Springer. And he comes with a little baggie of replacement shoulders because the metal ones in there do scrape really, really badly. I haven't gotten around to replacing them yet, but I may, just to make him look better. I don't know. The last accessory is a little kit that you have to build yourself, and this is supposed to be his rotor blades. And it turns quite nicely. So that looks good, but I don't display him with it because it's just too big. My display stands are not that, well, roomy. And finally, we get to Springer himself. And he is a massive bot, really heavy, and when you have everything tabbed in, he is really solid. And I'm going to start from this mode because getting him into this mode actually makes me swear in 6 different languages, and I don't want to do that on camera. So, if you do have the same problem as I have with this figure, check that these feet are aligned properly inside here, because then everything else just falls into place. But let's look at him, and he is a very springery car, or whatever you would call this. Mode. Nice illustrations. Even the soles of the feet are actually molded in a pattern. And these you can have up if you want to. I just think this looks best for the car. And this is what he looks like from the back. This is what he looks like from above, from the side, and these back wheels are just utterly ugly. So, And this is what it looks like from beneath. And this is just utter chaos. Chaos, 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 chaos. I know that the official instructions say that these should be turned forward and that little hinge in there, but I think they actually stay still better this way. So that's why I have them in that configuration. It does roll fairly well. Sometimes these front wheels that are on a strange hinge here just angle themselves differently, so they don't really roll that well. But if you just go with the back wheels or hind wheels or whatever you would call it, he works just fine. Yes, that insignia is me and no one else. But he is a fairly good-looking, springery car. You can, of course, store this on top if you want to, but no. The instructions did say that you could have something in here, but you shouldn't, as we already discussed. Now for comparison, let's bring in my go-to bot, MPP10. And as you can see, even though MPP10 is an oversized bot, he is quite large anyway. So this is supposed to be a Cybertronian thingy. It looks like a cargo car or something like that. Cargo trailer. No, not a trailer, but you know what I mean. And this little bot comes to market with about the same mass, I think. But he is taller in robot mode. And oh, they are the same weight. Now, every time I'm going to transform an X-Transbots bot, I question my decision of actually buying these bots from X-Transbots, because often they are hinged in the middle with a little tiny plastic piece that can easily break, or well, so on and so forth. And so is this one, unfortunately. But every time I think that, I also remember their cup. Yes, he was a nightmare to transform, but wow, he was so good as a bot, and the alt mode just looked sublime. You can, of course, turn these up if you want to, but I think that's just silly, so I'm not gonna use that when I display him. Well, I'm not going to display him in this mode, but still, you can push these up, and of course, down. Now, to get him into helicopter mode, you have to first untab these, and there are tabs on both sides. You can actually push them out a bit. You push this up, so it loosens on that side, and up, so this hinges forward. Now we come to the feet, and we're going to get these landing struts out. Fold them back just so we have them all done for now, because they are easier to do now than later on. You need to push the thighs outwards, and then we're going to rotate everything around. Open these up. Rotate this around. Push this in, like so. And here we have a little tab, and I don't know if you can see, but this is going into that piece there, and this is actually giving it stress marks, so I don't really like that, but what are you gonna do? Fold those down, fold those forward, and that's one leg done. Now we need to start tabbing things in, and you need to have everything aligned. Then you can just tab them together. We have to check that it is tabbed together in every place we can fathom. And now we come to this little piece again, because these are going to... No, wait. Before we do that, we have to do something about these. You fold these side pieces out. You fold the wheels like so. You push them down so they actually tab in to this little green piece back here. Like so. You fold these out. You rotate these out and tab them in, and this side is not going to tab in. My copy doesn't like that for some reason. Fold these sides back like that and push them the rest of the way until you see that little green piece come through the back of this piece. Fold these out. Push the little spike forward. And now you're done with this. You need to angle it back. So you're going to put this inwards. And you need a lot of fingers to do this because you have to angle things at the same time. They have to be up. So this is not really that fun, to be honest. But when you're done, you just tab them in, and now they're tabbed in both places. You come to the front, you tab that in, and that in, of course, the other side. Ah, there, good. Come to the underside, fold that out, fold the wheel out, tab that back in again. Now you have a little landing wheel there. Oh, I pushed this forward. I should do that. And now we need to bring in this. You separate those. And you have to have it at a specific angle, and when you do, you get him all in his alt mode number 2, which is a helicopter. And this is a really, really nice helicopter, actually. This part is a bit thin, but it doesn't matter. It looks fairly cartoon accurate. And as you can see from the front, it is a springery looking helicopter indeed. Now just to go over everything again, you have these little spikes that doesn't really stay still, but they look good anyway. This doesn't come out as it should. And you have this little thing, little cockpit. You can actually open this if you want to, but you need longer nails than I have. No. And you have some detailing in there, 2 steering wheels and 2 seats, and I don't think I can put anything I have in there. Maybe Daniel... No. But still. It looks fairly much the same otherwise. You have the... Oh, I forgot about these. You have to fold these. I keep forgetting them because I think they look ridiculous. But you'd have to do them as well, of course, to be accurate. So that's how his tail fin looks like. Very nice indeed. And back here you have 2 plates that should be tabbed together, but they rarely are on my piece. But still, looks good. And it actually looks really good from the back as well. But this is how it looks from above. And this is what it still looks somewhat from underneath. This is a bit less messy than the car mode, I think. But these wheels never stay like this as they should, so, well, you can rotate the hands if you want them in another position, but I don't really care because it's on the underside. And due to the fact that he actually has wheels, he rolls like he should. And if you want to, you can angle the wings, you can splay these out if you want to, and so on. You can, of course, lift these up here as well. Again, they look ridiculous, but if you want to, that's a thing you can do. I'm gonna put them down again, because no. All in all, it's a very nice helicopter mode. Really nice. It is a bit fiddly and stuff doesn't really hold together in the front, at least not on my copy. And that never really tabs in for some reason. Now it did. Anywho. I do like the look of this Springer. Now for comparison, I don't have another helicopter, but I'm going to bring in Skylynx. And no, he isn't a masterpiece, but just for scale. This is War for Cybertron Skylynx, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see that he's just too big to fit with this scale. So I'm going to try to get MMC's version of Skylynx so it would better fit my collection. But I do like this one. So good. And very cheap as well. I'm going to try something that I always wondered and never did actually try. I wonder if you can get these in here. And yes, you can. I don't know why you would, but it looks kind of cool. And just for all of you who missed out on my little intro where someone was singing, I'm going to put this in just to show you the effect of it all. And it does look like it's spinning, and if you actually spin it, it looks even more like a rotating blade, I think. Really nicely done. And quite a long spin you get out of it as well. But we need to get him to robot mode, and I can assure you when he is in robot mode he will never be transformed to anything else ever again, because there are just too many little flaky parts that I'm quite scared will break if I mess with him too much. I mean, I don't mean that in a way that it's bad quality, it's just that some design aspects of the transformation wasn't really thought through, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to take this off first. I'm going to transform it into his sword. I don't really remember him having a sword, but maybe he did. I had to actually take a bit of this off because it was too big, so I couldn't put it in his hands. Still have those on for some reason. Okay, We start by folding these back onto themselves, like so. We untab this piece and we separate the tabs here so we can actually hinge this forward and get that out of the way. We come here, we split everything down the middle, and we fold these in. We rotate the leg, and then we rotate this out as well. Before we come all the way, we have to untab this and fold that down and hinge that out. But this peg comes into that port, so just go on the rest of the way and tab that in, like so. This rotates around and you just tab that in like so. You scooch the foot inwards and fold it down. Of course, you also have to take the landing gear and flip that in. And be mindful, because if you don't flip it all the way in, he will not stand in any way or another, at least not my copy. You fold this back in, like so, fold that up, and if you have everything aligned properly, which I never do, like that, you actually have the leg almost done. I tend to fold that inwards because I like that better. You push that in, you rotate that around, and that is one leg done. When you're done with the legs, you come back to here, you fold those little spikies in, you fold the wheels all the way in, open these up, fold these in, rotate these back, and fold that in onto themselves. Now we need to untab them from that piece so we can actually scooch them all the way down. You turn that upwards and you tap this. Maybe you do that lastly. Like so, and you do the same thing on the other side. When you've done that, you fold these onto themselves and you hinge them inwards because these green pieces are on a slider. And now we have the backpack all set to be assembled on his back. But first, we need to come to this piece. Fold this up, and while you're doing that, you're going to fold that little landing gear in. You're going to hinge out all of this to get that out of the way for now. You're going to push these up a bit, and then we're going to engage the ab crunch to get the arms out as smoothly as possible. I say smoothly, but that's a bloody lie. And when they are at the top here, fold them over and push them down in that order. If you don't do it in that order, they won't be able to tab in. So up, in, down, and tab in. Now we take the backpack. We can put him back out of his misery so he doesn't have to be in ab crunch mode all the time. But before we go on, I'm going to raise up the camera a bit. These two tabs are going into those to secure the backpack in place. You can push this in if you want to. And now we're going to go to the front of this bot. And as you can see, he is back heavy, so he's going to lean. And this is where the scrapage on mine actually occurs. Anyway, you rotate this down and tab it in. You fold it like that. You fold it in and you push it out. Now you have one arm done. Now you come to the chest piece, you fold this down, and at the same time this will come out. You rotate the head out, so it's looking forward. You fold these side pieces out, get this little neck brace up as far as you can, and these are going to go around these, and that can be quite fiddly since you don't want to activate this piece there. But when you're done, everything should just connect. And for some reason mine doesn't do that today. I don't know why. Ah, good. Now it did. This is a bit fiddly, yes, I know. But there you have Springer in his robot mode. And of course you can straighten out his arms and stuff like that if you want to put him in a position that looks better than this. I don't really like strange hands, so I want them looking something like that. Now let's get up close and personal with this little beauty, and he has a very nice head indeed. Can look up a bit. His chest doesn't really, or belly in this case, doesn't really tab in, which is one of my gripes with this figure. But he looks very springery here, and well, as you know, these little scrapage, not good. I might switch that out for the plastic one, just because. He has some really nice thick thighs, as you can see, and his feet and legs are just of epic proportions, a bit on the too large side for me, but he does have some ugliness on his legs on the back, and he has a little backpack, but I don't think that is unseemly in the slightest. But he is, as you probably can see, a bit difficult to pose due to the fact that he is very back heavy. For articulation, his head can turn around, go very much down, and the chest can go up. The arms can do a 360, they can go out to there, they can fold forward if you untab them, but I don't suggest you do because they're hard to tab in again. You have a bicep swivel, you have a double jointed elbow, really, really nice, and fantastic hands, utterly fantastic hands. Ball joint and 2 hinges on the thumb, and 1, 2, 3 pegs on the other fingers, so that's really nice. And you can of course rotate it, and as we all know, he has an ab crunch, and he can rotate around when at his waist. If you fold these out, as you can see, everything just folds hither and thither on this little thing, so you can go out to there. He can, I think. Can he do the Motor Master splits? Yes, he can. He can do the Motor Master splits. Boing. This is a very strange solution, but it works, so I'm not going to complain too much. You can rotate at the thighs. You have less than 90 degrees at the knee. And the feet just go up and down a bit, and, well, tilts. But since that's the only part tilting, it's more for show than anything else. You can, of course, put his weapons in his hand, and if we try to do that, let's see if it works. Now everything just pops out on that side, so I have to take this side instead because that's where I shaved off the plastic. Now it doesn't want to play with me at all. Trust me, this is doable if you shave the plastic a bit. But now it just doesn't want to play with me at all. But he can hold on to his sword in a manner thusly. And we can, of course, bring in his guns. And he can hold them equally loose, unfortunately. This just untabbed itself. Don't untab yourself. And let's put that in if we're able to. Again, they are very loose. These tabs aren't that good. It works, as you can see. But if I want to add these, I have to, yeah, they just come off. But you can add the blast effects as well. So he is now shooting Decepticons to his heart's content, and that just went out of its socket. You're giving yourself a bad grade, Springer. Yeah, okay, I'm getting rid of these. So if you're gonna use his gun with him, just don't use the blast effects. Because, well, you saw what happened. I don't have to remind us of the poor gripability of his hands. But I have to say, he looks good. He looks very good. And he is a Springer I'm satisfied with. If Fan Toys ever re-releases theirs, I might consider buying it though. Now for comparison, let's bring in my favorite X-Transbots bot ever, Cup. And as you can see, he's a bit shorter, which he should be, because Springer is supposed to be a big, beefy bot. I don't really know if they should be that different in height, but it works. And they look really, really nice together. And for all of you who wonders how he looks with the other head, I'll just try to hold it in front of him, because removing the head, you have to rotate the head 90 degrees. They say 90 degrees, but that's just a lot of BS. To the side, so that little tab can go through a hole. But these tabs tend to sit on different rotations depending on head. So just fold it back and look where the tab is, so you can just pass through that little hole without breaking anything, because around here there are lots of hinges and stuff, and you can easily break stuff there if you are not careful. And this green, dark foresty green color thing he has actually fell off, so I had to glue that back on. So there are a bit of QC issues with this bot, unfortunately. Now for my conclusion. I do like this bot. He looks good in every mode, fairly cartoon accurate. It's just the transformation and the engineering that is a bit bothersome, because they could have done so much better, unfortunately. His chest doesn't tab in, his hands doesn't hold on to the guns, and the waist with the ab crunch is just brittle plastic, and I don't want to transform him too many times because he is going to crash. So if this bot should be or not to be, I think he must ask himself that question. Maybe not ask a missile, but still. Due to the fact that there are so many flaws with him, or maybe it's just my copy, but it drags the score down for him. I wish I could give him a better score because he looks so good. But unfortunately, his masterpiece score is a 6. He looks good, but the engineering and quality issues are just dragging him down too much. But he's a good placeholder for a better Springer, so he's still a fairly good recommendation, I think, if you need a Springer and can't get a hold of any other. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.